Hello everyone, welcome to our new topic which is identify equipment faults and take appropriate action in accordance with manufacturer's instructions or by seeking specialized assistance. This topic is the continuation of the previous topic of maintain technology. By the way, I am Angel Marian Binori, your reporter of this topic. Fault reporting. Fault reporting is a procedure to notify relevant people that a tool has a fault and is not fully operational. Details of the fault are helpful for technicians to arrive at a solution faster. In this case, details means issue detail. When reporting a fault, it is important to be specific on which area has an issue in order to be addressed immediately by the technician. Complaints such as machine not working or cannot copy do not provide any helpful information. Why? Because you are not being specific. In a company, there are different types of machine. It could be a photocopier, a fax machine, or anything. So it is important to give an issue detail on what particular machine has a fault so that the technician's attention will direct to that particular area. It is always the case that detail is helpful. Example, machine jumps only when duplexing on A4. That's it. Documentation may be necessary that encourages detail or the expert collects the details. Documentation are the documents that support the operation or care of a business tool. Through this, technician can easily identify the issue and take appropriate action to solve the problem as soon as possible. Some manufacturers have a standard form that is designed to ensure the correct and most complete data is collected to enable the problem to be solved as soon as possible. These include details such as person's name, contact details, email address, sequence of events, asset name, model, finance officer, problem description, service contact number, serial number of machine, urgency of the problem, and access hours. Fault recording for the business. It may be useful to maintain a record of fault types to use when deciding on the future machine. The records could serve as your reference on what type of machine you'll be using in the future. It's either you'll change brands or you'll find a more robust model. Repeating faults may indicate that a tool is being used beyond its specifications and that a more robust model is required. Fault repeating may also indicate that the repair process has fixed the symptoms, which is the paper jamming, but not the cause, which is a faulty pickup roller in the paper bin. Some companies do not maintain records of fault but only action taken, and they may not investigate for a deeper problem. Consumables. Consumables are the items or resources that are consumed in the normal operation of the business tool. Without consumables, the tool will not perform. Some examples are paper, toner, and batteries. Photocopier will consume paper and toner, and once depleted, they will not operate except if you will replace it. And then mobile phones use the power from batteries, and these can be recharged. However, eventually the ability to store power will diminish and the batteries will be useless. Where are the consumables stored? Consumables are stored in a secure area where access is controlled. Toner cartridge will need to be accessible and readily available when the cartridge needs to be replaced. Papers can consume a large space depending on the amount of paper used and the number of machine. There is also the recording process to ensure that items consumed are reordered. Once a toner cartridge is removed and installed in the copier, a procedure is required to replace the item in the storage area. It is also important to have a detailed description of the item to be ordered, and the description should relate to the item and not the use. Example, battery size AAA is much more useful description than batteries for Nokia 343. What to order? In some cases, there are different types of some same item. A copier cartridge can print 4,000 copies, or the large capacity with the same physical size can be a 10,000 at a higher price. Policies need to be established which size is the standard order. Order histories may indicate that items with large capacity or larger orders to get volume discount is justified. Who can order? In large departments, there may be an order department that orders item. This department is responsible for transactions with a supplier when a business wants to purchase something. This allows both parties to have matching records that they can use to verify what was purchased and the price of the transaction and when the purchase took place. Consumables may be ordered through a different process because the need is high and they may be used in only one area. This is a management decision that determines the process. Documentation. Documentation is the documents that support the operation or care of business tool. Where is specific documentation stored? This may be stored in different locations or may be electronic so the business can make copies and keep a full set of in both location. So it could either be a physical location or a particular software where they can save it. Um, it is also important that any technical documentation is accessible to assist in problem solving. Documentation storage may be overlooked as using the documentation is an exception and only occurs when there is an issue with the tool. If all goes well, the documentation may never be read past the install process. However, when it is required, it is often required in a hurry and need to be made available, and the process to ensure it is returned just as the tool must be returned. External support. External support refers to assistance from persons outside the firm. What are contact details? Telephone number, machine details, account numbers will be required. The machine details can include model number and may even include the serial number. This may be easily discovered from the machine but may be hidden on the back or areas that need a touch and a fair amount of flexibility to discover. It is useful to record this in an accessible location when and if a service call is to be made. In some cases, businesses will have support contracts with numbers, and this will assist in lodging a service call in an efficient and prompt manner. In large organizations, additional information may include the physical location of the copier, as it may be in a different building or possibly a different suburb. When we say suburb, it is a location, a street or the next street, where services calls are lodged from the central location to the serving authority. The technician will need to know where the copier is located, so they can call on the location where the copier is and not on the central address. Again, the organizations, they may need a guide to take them to a copier's location. So, an appointment with the technician is necessary to ensure there will be someone available to take the technician to the copier and guide them back to the street. Who is responsible or authorized to contact the external support? So there is a specific service authority that will contact the external support. If there is a charge for the service, there will need to be an approval process to allow the call. It is also silly to have several people from within the business calling about the same problem on the same tool. Password. Password is a set of characters and letters to verify that access is allowed. Some tools have passwords that deny access to the tool or some function with the tool. The copier may have passwords for each department and another password that restricts access to the management of the copier and the setup. Some tools require passwords to be changed on a regular basis, and users must be created to devise new password without duplicating an earlier version. It is also important that management passwords are recorded and secured. The password is designed to control access, so if the password become public knowledge, it is useless as a password. and quickly becomes a passport for hacking or a future problem. Passwords provide the first line of defense against unauthorized access to your computer and personal information. So the stronger the password, the more protected your computer will be from hackers and malicious software. Thank you guys for listening and for being with me all throughout the discussion. I hope you learned something from this lesson. Keep safe, everyone. This has been Angel Marian Binori, now signing off.